Alrighty, so the nerd isn't doing all that well, and so let's go back over to the jock here. The jock is actually going to only move up to 3, but he's not going to try to discover this area yet. He's actually going to equip this knife. So he, he currently has both of the items that he can have equipped. Again, we will get to that here in a second once someone actually does some combat to one of the monsters. So we're back up to the storyteller's turn. The storyteller is just going to keep on trying to wail. So we should know how it works at this point. So storyteller rolls. He has a 2 plus his 6, total of 8. The nerd here has a courage of 3. And so he got a total of 4. And so the renegade virus is doing 4 amounts of fear points lie to the nerd here. Sorry, nerd. So one thing the nerd could do, he could use a actual item and use the Walkman, or he could use his Scarecrow helper. In fact, in that case, I think that's what he is going to do. The nerd here is going to try to stand up to the overall fight, and he is going to try to fight the renegade virus. And so, similar to how a monster attacks, is the same way that the characters attack. So, the nerd has a strength of 2. Sorry, nerd, your strength isn't super high, but let's see what you get. Boom, the highest amount. So in this case, he is going to do a total of 8. Well, not a total, but anyways, he has a total result of 8. The monster here is going to defend using their defense stat. In this case, the renegade virus only has a defense of 2. So similar to the other. Okay, so in this case, he has a total of 7. And so, because the nerd here came out on top, and again, it does the difference of the overall 2 stats. The renegade virus is taking one hit point of damage here. But because the nerd has the silent servant, the silent servant can be used 3 times and has a strength of 4. And so, kind of similar, the silent servant rolls. So 5 plus that 4, making it 9. The defense here is rolled. He only has a 4, and so he does a total of 5 damage to the renegade virus. Plus the additional 1 damage, that's 6 total hit points off of the virus out of his 20 total hit points. So renegade virus only has 14 hit points left. We are back up to the jock here. He's actually going to use his turn to discover this area, Bolorama Lanes from Tale of the Dream Girl. Again, because that's what his turn is. Encounter. Is encounter. You make some prank phone calls. The jokes are subpar at most, but the phone police still arrest you anyways. As a result of being arrested, the other protagonists forget about your existence. All other protagonists must make a knowledge check, which is the amount rolled on the 6-sided die plus their knowledge skill of 6 or higher. If the check was successful, the protagonist remembers you and the game continues as normal. If the check was a failure, that protagonist may not talk to you or the person, like who drew this card here, for the rest of the game. As they speak to you, their fear meter increases by 1 for each time you're spoken to. If there is only one protagonist on the board, they will go back to the protagonist starting area instead, aka this. Which, of course, this is a reference to the phone police episode, where the kid does all the prank calls and no one remembers him. besides his friend. So, anyways, he just went and did his turn here. It's time for Renegade. It's time for the Renegade virus to do his turn. Again, combat as is normal. He's going to try to scare him. That's an 11. Sorry, nerd. You're just not very brave. And some of these cards here can increase people's skills too. In this case, we haven't got to any of them, and so he has an 11. The nerd is going to roll. He only has a 5, so unfortunately he's dealing 6 damage. Like at the nerd here, making, unfortunately, according to my math, the nerd is up to 15 fear points. Again, 20 is the limit before it is game over. So again, it is the nerd's turn. He has 15 on his fear meter. If he gets to 20, it's game over. So he is going to try to get out of dodge, and he's going to roll here. So he has a total of 8 because it's 3 on the die, plus he has a 5 on his skill stat. Renegade is going to try to roll here too. So in this case, he only gets a 7 because he has a 2 on the die, and then he only has a 5 on his speed. So in this case, the nerd is able to move the number that he has on his speed skill. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then only when it is a running past a monster or retreating from a monster can you use your movement action second. So in addition to the amount of squares that he moved to retreat, he can also use more squares to just plain simply run away even farther. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He is going to end his turn on this area here, see where it takes him. But in this case, for the time being, he is safe. Now, you might be asking yourself, oh, gee, Tom, well, how do you get your fear meter to go back down? There are cards that can get it to go back down, as well as certain areas that can get it to go back down. One of the things, and I'm not final with it yet, but some of the areas here, if you were to land and end your turn there, certain things happen. Again, some of them have them at this point, some of them don't. I would like to make it that all of them do, just to kind of add a little bit extra amount of fun. But as of now, there's only just like a couple that have extra amounts of stuff added to them. One of those is if they find Sardo's magic mansion and you end on it, you can heal all of your potential fear points. Only if you go to that area here. Anyways, going on here. So the jock is going to move. So he's actually gonna go up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the end of his turn here. The Renegade virus is going to do his turn here, and so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really fast, just as kind of a side note here. A monster cannot discover a new area, and so had this area been still face down, the monster could not have discovered it. So we are back up to the nerd here. So the nerd has a couple different options. He can try to discover this area here, hoping that it's something good. Or he could actually, you know what, in this case, because he doesn't want to, because the Renegade virus could go ahead and get him. So he's actually going to move down south. So he's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, you don't have to move the full amount. What does he get? The cemetery. Again, there are many cemeteries in Are You Afraid of the Dark? I think this one, I'm not sure if that's Old Man Cochrane. Again, I can never say that name. Or or if it's the tale of the prom queen. Anyways, that's neither here nor there, but because it is a new area, he does find this and encounter. You find yourself in Terror Town's Fire Station 214. Suddenly, the ghostly form of a burnt man forms before. Yeah, sorry. As you can tell, it's probably like, gee, Tommy, you didn't add in certain words. I really thought that I did. Forms before you and laughs. The storyteller will choose one revealed location. That location is suddenly surrounded by fire, causing it to be off limits for 3 turns. But, well, in truth, there's really nothing here that the players are dying to get to, so we'll just say that this house is off for the 3 turns. Nothing really there that is too much of a hassle here, but it is certainly there. So, in this case, I think that the jock is going to try to do this place here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Ends his turn. Here we go. Sardo's Magic Mansion. Again, if the nerd were to end his turn here, his fear points would in fact heal. So in this case, the jock ends his turn there, and the storyteller will go ahead and move his monsters here. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, he can try to attack. The jock, though, has a little bit of extra he can do. The jock has a courage of 4, and so the storyteller is gonna, the storyteller is gonna try to scare the jock away. Ooh, sorry, he has a total of 12. The most that the jock can do is defend with his courage of 4, and so what does he get? He gets a 6, and so the jock is still taking 10, not 10, sorry, is still taking 2 points of damage because the storyteller got 12, the jock got 10. You subtract the 2 and give the difference of the result.